All right, we're going to be starting off with our first review is going to be for The Boys series finale. What is your gut reaction after this finish? Because I know there's a lot leaning in on this finale. What was your gut reaction?
Yeah, my gut reaction, surprising. I didn't think this was going to be a hot take, but I liked it.
Dude, why is it a hot take? I agree with you. I was like, that's exactly what I would want to happen.
People were so mad everywhere. Like, if you go on Reddit, everybody is destroying it. And I get it. Like, they bring up good points. I'm not saying that they're idiots, or I'm not even saying that they're wrong, but it's like, yeah, but how else could a Homelander have gone out? Like, it had to be Butcher versus Homelander. It had to come down to it. I liked it. I thought everybody got a pretty satisfying conclusion. You know, it was, to your point, you made a great video talking about how it was a little bit more positive than some other, shows out there.
Surprise. Yeah.
Dude, I thought it was great. Like, I enjoyed it. Well, yeah, I saw your thoughts, but
I thought,
tell me more.
Well, I think of this, I'm going to pick a negative just so that we have them on the field. I believe Kimiko getting the powers was a little too fast. I do like that they established those powers early on through Soldier Boy, not Winter Soldier, by the way. Thank you, comments. Soldier Boy.
Right. Yeah.
And so that those powers were out there, and it was all about giving Kimiko those same powers. I felt like that was a little bit too fast for her to get them. But
so for sure. Yeah. I think just because we can like a finale too, we can still be critical of it. And you're 100% right on that. Yeah. When I saw it pop up in a comment section, I was like, that is true. Like, it did feel like a MacGuffin, right? Where it was like, we need some way to stop the powers of Homelander. Oh, let's bring in Kimiko, and you're like, I guess. And it was a cool way to like bring her into the fight, but it did just feel like such a quick fix, like what do they call it? Like a deus ex machina, where it was like, here's the magic fix. Yeah. So it did feel like that.
Kripke's been kind of, ever since the premiere of this final season, telling people, you guys are probably not going to like the finale. What about the finale do you think he was predicting people wouldn't like?
That's a good question. I think he was probably predicting the politics of it all, because I also noticed that there is a very there is a political lean as to the criticisms and the likes. And I noticed.
MAGA tends to dislike the show because clearly it mirrors. But by the way, it was written 2 years ago, so you tell me what's
that's amazing. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's not like it totally is a live action South Park. They predicted this. Yeah. It's not like he was directly. There is direct references, but some of these references were accidental because they were written so far in the past.
Yeah, and they were even joking around on set. They were like, what, like the whole like religious thing. They were like, no way did he just post that. The episode's coming out tomorrow.
Yeah.
They were joking about that, so it's good stuff.
So that was so amazing. That shows you how like tuned in they were to like actual world events and politics, whether you like it or not. They had their like, what is it, nose or thumb on the
That can't be right.
Whatever the saying is, completely botched that one. Anyways, they were like right there. Yeah. They were right there with like what was going to happen. And I think that's amazing. I probably think it was more of the politics of it all, but for people who didn't read the comic, and I was pretty tuned into like what was going to happen and stuff, the fact that Butcher has a heel turn towards evil, I think that could also have pissed off a lot of people, but like for comic book fans, you kind of knew it was coming, because
I avoided as much as I could for the comic. Did you try to stay up to date with the comic? I tried to avoid.
I tried to avoid it too, but that was one of those things that like it just popped up, and I was like, all right, well, I'm already watching this YouTube video, so
the damn TikTok explainer videos, they get me right away. They're like, this is why Black Noir is really crazy in the last season. Like, okay, I'm in. And then but they didn't do that whole Black Noir reveal.
Dude, the hooks are getting good out there, man.
The hooks are getting good. Teach me the ways, young masters. But so. Yeah, I thought his turn, was actually very warranted because I kind of assumed the entire point was the two are mirroring each other. Homelander is butchered, vice versa, and it's just that there's a few things. And then again, I'm saying again because I said this already on TikTok, but the point is Hughie affected Butcher just enough for him to delay that 1 second, which gave Hughie the shot off. And I thought like that shows that of the two of them, he is a gooder guy. And it was the influence of the boys and of Hughie on him that gave him that little bit of a pause to reflect on his brother. I thought that was really well done.
Absolutely. I love that scene. I thought it was really, really good. Yeah, I mean, you perfectly said it, right? Like Homelander, there was somebody else out there, I don't know who it is, but they came up with this. But basically, it was the more that they became isolated, the worse people got. So Homelander,
Yes.
the more he killed people in the seven, the more he isolated himself from everybody else, the crazier and worse he got. And then
Right.
there's, same thing with Annie. She can't, deal with it. She wants to leave Hughie. Her whole life starts falling apart. The more she starts reaching for a connection, whether it's with her dad or back with the boys or back with Hughie, the better she gets, like the more sane she gets. We'll
Right.
have to talk about the Gen V of it all because that was a little
That was
that kind of
disappointing.
detours this a little bit, but that's
Yes.
a writing thing. I don't necessarily think that has to do with her character.
Right.
And then the same thing with like MM, the same thing with like Kimiko. The more that they kind of leaned on each other, the better they
Right.
were. And that, to your point, eventually affects Butcher so much that he is able to stop for 1 sec. Because you could have just pressed the button before Huey even got there.
Oh,
He
of
could have
course. Yeah.
he could have Ozymandias the whole thing like
Right.
Watchmen, and then Huey could have showed up and everybody could have been dead already.
Yeah.
But he wanted Huey, I think, to stop him, and he wanted to have that canary in the mine say, "Hey, are you
Love
sure
that.
you want to do this?" And yeah, so I thought that scene was great.
And if we look at the thing that broke that camel's back, the straw that broke the camel's back was the dog dying. And I think that's the part where you're like
Mm,
you're saying pushes him towards isolation. He had been
yeah,
accepted and everything's like mother's milk. Even like the actor was even saying like I basically was playing the character fresh again because this time he was all go. But like everybody was patching things up. But then when his dog died, it pushed him back the other direction for just for a second, for enough for him to go grab that vial and head off.
absolutely.
Um,
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean that was his last true connection to Becca, right? Like
yeah,
he Homelander's dead, which that solves that problem. Then Ryan is like, listen, I don't like Homelander. I know, yeah, I had to stop him, but I also don't want to be with you. You're not a great guy either. I have to go do my
yeah.
own thing. So now Ryan's gone. Mallory's dead. Like so the only person being left was Tara. And once Tara was gone, it was like, yeah, there
Tara, I was
was
looking at that
nothing.
name. Yeah,
Yeah, so good. It's perfect. It perfectly fits that
it
dog
is.
too.
Yeah,
But so sad. I
yeah.
freaking that messed me up. Uh yeah, and I last thing I want to say about that scene though is Huey fighting back. Because
Hmm.
even he's like talking trash to Huey, like, you're not the guy, you can't do it. But this whole show is that Huey has become that guy. He's not
Exactly.
he's not MM, he's not Frenchie, he's definitely not Butcher, he's not at their level. But man, does he pull his own weight, and he's more and more and more has he gotten in the thick of it with them. And
Yeah.
I think that last fight was perfect. It's like Huey has more fighting capability than a powered down Homelander, and I think that speaks volumes as to like their characters.
Let's talk about Power Down Homelander because that was another complaint I saw a bunch out there. I like that we're just addressing complaints. This is a good way to do it.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
People were saying that Homelander was too weak after he lost his powers and that he was a little bitch. I'm like, that's 100% the point. Without
Yes.
his powers, he's a little bitch. He drinks breast milk the whole time. He's like, Mama, every time he sees her,
Right.
this guy is definitely a wuss. The idea is that when he has a bunch of power, he feels strong, and that's the only thing protecting him. And so the fact that he was like immediately, on his knees asking for his survival, I really wish Butcher just grabbed that crowbar and went to town the entire time. I don't, why punch him? Grab that crowbar and go. But yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
that's the point.
No, it 100% was. Yeah, I don't know if you saw. I did a post about it because I saw so many people complaining about that too. They're like, he should have been able to fight better. He should have, at least not been like such a whoosh. He like the I'll suck your thing and like I'll eat it thing. Like, people are like, he would never do that. And I'm like, yes, he absolutely
Yes.
would. Like the post I made, and like every once in a while I'll have one that just like takes off, and this was one of them. And yeah, not to just like quote something I read online, but I don't think I could say it better, so I will kind of
Yeah,
just
it's
read it.
good.
But he's like, so somebody was like, yeah, like he didn't even put up a good fight. What was that? And then this is what I said. I said, I'm blown away by the fact that people don't understand this. The only thing that made Homelander so cocky, confident, and able to fight was his powers. When those were stripped away, he no longer could act like the same person. He was always this guy underneath the facade of superiority. Just like a millionaire who loses everything wouldn't act like the same person. You know, like if
Exactly.
you all of a sudden had all this money, you lost it all. You're not going to come back and be like, I'm Mr. Big Shot. Yeah,
Right.
let me into the country club. Your whole vibe, demeanor, everything, the thing that gives you power, and literally for Homelander, it was power, is gone. He's not
Yeah.
that guy. The true self is now shown.
And that's how authoritarianism works, where you have a figure, a lot of people around them will prop that figure up just so they have something to take all the bullets for them.
Mhm.
But yeah, once that person's gone, once that facade is gone, then you have the shell of the man that's just being propped up. And I
Mhm.
thought that they did a really good job. I think Kripke did a hell of a good job with that finale, especially for Homeland. I know that was the big, what's going to happen with Homeland.
Yeah, and I mean that scene too, like people can talk trash, whatever, but so well acted. Like
Yeah,
Anthony Starr, I saw so many people. There
yeah,
was the people that were like worst, like villains who fell off. Like at the end, they had him, Vecna, the Night King from Game of Thrones. But I'm like, Homelander should not be in this category. Like granted, the way he lost his powers was a little weak through Kimiko,
fair. Yeah,
but the way he acted after his powers was gone, and then the way he got killed was, oh man, I love that scene because it's like that was what I've been waiting for 5 seasons. Like I wanted this guy to get his comeuppance. Granted, I wish Butcher kind of tortured him a little bit more. It
a
sounds
little
messed up
bit
on my
more.
part.
Yeah,
Yeah, like he needed a little bit more. Bolton, Ramsey Bolton, remember that? Where
yes.
like
Oh,
Sansa
what a
goes,
finish!
oh man.
That might be the best villain takedown on TV with the dogs.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Sansa doing it. Heck yeah. He was
Yeah.
right
But I
there.
would give this like, I don't know what's next, but I would give this in the top 5. Like I really enjoyed it. Again, I just wish he got a little
Yeah,
bit more at him.
totally well earned on him though. One of the things I want to bring up is I think a lot of this show is based around the relationships between say Hughie and Starlighter, but I really think Frenchie and Kimiko was such a good relationship. And especially this last season when they were kind of this little balance of like, oh, I want to have a family and everything like that. And then Frenchie's like, I want to go to raves and I want to have a party and be in a different city every night.
Yeah.
And just
Yeah.
totally different opposite ideas. But then Frenchie, and it sucks. We watch way too many TV shows and movies. As soon as Frenchie's like, I'll do what you want to do, it's like, oh, he's gonna die. That's
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
good.
I
But
know.
that empowering Kimiko, and then at that last moment too, like the ghost of Frenchie popping up, I just I really like that relationship, and I felt like it was so real. I felt like that felt like it was good chemistry just beyond the actual screen.
Absolutely. It was one of my favorite romances that's ever developed in a show. That,
Yeah,
like I don't watch a lot of romance shows, but I mean that one was like, God, this is like, man, you kids, I hope they can figure it out.
I
Even they're
know.
both like genocidal murderers. But
Yeah,
like they felt like they deserved a second chance. At least their characters did. I know I
mhm,
don't want to get into the real life stuff, but I think that scene for me was so well done because I think the subtle hero in it, which is funny, forget the terrible puns, is Karen Fukuhara because like the way she's kind of crying throughout the episode, the way she has to go back to being mute and using sign language, like she's so distraught she can't talk
what a good
again.
storytelling tool that is, by the way, the ability to speak. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. And I thought, and just like when she's standing by the grave, at the beginning of the episode, there's just like so much emotion there. It really feels like they love each other
yeah,
and that they discovered something in each other or allowed each other to be who they wanted to be. That was,
yeah.
yeah, well done. Super well
One of
done.
my favorite shots of the final episode was that of Kimiko standing next to the grave, and like the dirt would almost echo with her power that's just kind of surging inside of her.
Mhm.
And I just thought like that first off shows just this like rage that's just barely being bound, but also the fact that it's being almost like echoed through and from the dirt means Frenchie's a
Mhm.
part of it too in a way, It's like almost this thing is just like I could feel him and it's just making me stronger. And it's like, oh my God,
Wow.
she's such a cool character. I really love her. Yeah.
I like that. I think that's a great depiction. Yeah, I didn't think about it that way.
The Gen V problem. I like Gen V. I wish they would just do another season of it. But what a damn waste. You guys wasted
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
heavy hitters here. What a
hmm
waste.
I loved it. I saw something on Reddit again because I was like, surely everybody's gotta love this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Reddit is like all over hating it, but the Gen V of it all, somebody did bring up a good point, and so I guess like I don't know what Kripke's involvement was in Gen V, but it did feel like somebody else made Gen V, and then they were trying to figure out how to like work them
Oh, fair.
in the last
Yeah.
season, and it felt like now we got enough characters, let's leave them behind, which was such a shame because I genuinely love Gen V. obviously season 2 wasn't as good as season 1, but I think the Chance Perdomo of it all, him passing away, it
Yeah.
was like a, it was like a Chadwick Boseman. Like, how are you going to replace that character? And they chose
Mhm.
not to recast, which I think that's a conversation for another time. I think people are coming around to the idea that we need to recast for like really important characters.
Yeah.
But anyways, so one idea that somebody had was like, instead of it just being Kimiko and Butcher that runs into the room to fight Homelander and then Ryan stops them, what if instead of Kimiko trying to blast him, what if instead Marie came in because she was always posed as like this god tier soup?
Yeah.
That what if she came in into the White House in the Oval Office and was the one to hold Butcher along, to hold Homelander along with Butcher, along with Kimiko and Ryan. And so
Yeah.
Kimiko could block. I was like, man, that would have been so good if they're like,
Yep.
no, you guys hold back. We'll give you the signal when to come in. And then, Marie comes in and basically helps hold Homelander by like blood bending him. I think that would have
Exactly.
been really cool.
We don't need her to be the crutch, but because that would feel bad on the other front. Because it's like, come on now. But
Right.
it needs to be just enough to where, like, with her, doable. Without her, probably not doable. That's all we
Right.
needed, and they missed that balance completely.
Totally.
Uh,
Yeah. It just sucks
looking
because
at the
like I wanted to see
yeah,
Jordan, see more of Jordan. I wanted to see
I
more
love
of
Jordan's character. Yeah,
yeah, what's the I'm trying to think of the girl who shrinks because she's
I
amazing too, and I'm blanking on her
yeah,
name.
I just know
But
Marie and Jordan, the only two that stuck in my brain from, and Godolkin,
yeah.
because that name will never leave my brain. Actually, that's such a good name.
Yeah, I know that's such a good name. But also like they're the only ones that really got a call out.
Yeah,
What I mean, this season. So and it just sucks that they're not getting a season 3 to like kind of wrap up their stories. But yeah, such a waste. I mean, let's
on
just
that front, we're
call it what
probably
it
gonna
is.
get Godolkin back actually because of Vought Rising.
Right. Yeah,
Ooh,
yeah. I
okay,
know
I'm
that's
looking forward
pretty
to Vault
cool.
Rising. Did you see a trailer for Vault Rising already?
I did. Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
I think it
I'm
looks
a
pretty
sucker for when
good.
it's like set in the 50s. I'm a sucker for that. It's so
Yeah,
good.
yeah. I think somebody also, I know who said this, like Screen Crush also said it might be a backdoor um season 6 of The Boys in a sense.
Yeah,
Because they're like, there's only so many seasons they can do in the past before it catches up to the present. And there's a interesting thing that they noted, which is at the end of The Boys, Ryan goes with Mother's Milk. He's seemingly like adopted by Mother's
I
Milk.
loved that actually. Yeah,
Yeah, and so Ryan is obviously the son of Homelander, but also the grandson of Soldier Boy, and who killed Mother's Milk's dad and ruined his family, Soldier Boy. So there's a,
yeah.
a way that they can bring them in, whether it's at the end of this season or season 2 or even season 3. So I'd be down for that. I think that'd be cool.
And I assume there's gonna be something just because we have to figure out how the heck Soldier Boy's gonna die. He's still frozen last I saw, so he's
Right.
still at play. And I'm like, that's a huge plot hole that you guys left on the out there. Let's figure that out.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
it does. But unless they're keeping it just for later seasons of Vought Rising, like then
that's
it
what it'll be
becomes
simple.
yeah, the boys, it's like Vought Rising season 2 or 3 slash the boys season 6, which would kind of
Yeah,
be dope. I'd
I'd
be
be.
into that.
I'm more freaking the boys. I'm down for that.
Mm.
So looking at these series as a whole, 2019 to now, is there any big takeaways you have from this series as a whole? And then I want to get your score out of 10 for it too.
Any big takeaways? That's a good one. Man, Anthony Starr is a legend.
Yeah.
I hope he doesn't get typecasted as just like a psychotic villain, though. I mean, just for his sake.
That being said, I want him to play Dracula in Marvel. So
Ooh,
go for
yeah, that'd be great. I know people are like fan casting him in DC. I can't remember who, but I definitely want to see him in more things. He
it.
is a legend, along with Carl Urban. Like Carl Urban's been around the block for decades. But I think I gotta say, this might be my favorite character of his period. I think Butcher was a standout too. Was just
Yeah.
so damn good. Like every scene that they were in was magnetic. Hughie, Jack Quaid, getting his shot. Now we have Jack Quaid as like a superstar. I love Jack Quaid just as like a human being, but like,
Yeah.
as his character too, like Hughie had so much development. It was always like the nerdy guy who wasn't meant to like, who always got looked down on or people didn't care about them. And then all of a sudden, through the right situations, like all their geeky knowledge, now it makes them a badass and they, get to be a superstar at the end. And yeah, so God, just this cast. What a phenomenal cast.
Yeah. What are you thinking out of 10? What's your score?
For the series or finale?
Let's actually, you know what? I want for both, actually. Yeah, now that you said, yeah.
Okay, so finale, I'm gonna go 8 out of 10. I really no,
Okay.
at the time I felt like really good about it. At the time, I probably would have said 9. I probably settled into like an 8.5, I'd say.
Yeah, that's a good spot. And then for a series, what are you thinking?
Series, man, oh dang, lights out.
That's okay.
Dramatic effect. Series. God, it started
Now we
so
got
strong.
that series score is so important because you got the lighting for it.
Yeah, I know, right? It's kind of how it felt about Stranger Things, man. Like, I felt like this hole in my heart after it was done. I really felt like, damn,
That's a
it's
good way to
over.
put it. Yeah, I got that
know?
with Invincible as well. It's like, man, I really missed waiting for next Tuesday.
Yeah. But the thing is, we're getting another Invincible. It's like knowing we're not gonna get another Boys with this cast. It just feels like, and the same thing with Stranger Things. Whether you like the finale or not doesn't really matter. It's just like, damn, that sucks. We're never gonna see them all together in like a thing. So I felt like that. I gotta give it, man. God, that's so hard. No, screw it. I'm just gonna go with my gut. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10.
Yep.
I love The Boys. I love The Boys.
Well, I'll come out and just say I got those exact scores as well. I have an 8 out of 10.
Nice.
I do. Exactly.
Yeah.
8 out of 10 for the finale, 9 out of 10 for the series. It's not a 10 out of 10 because there are definitely some low points. There are definitely some seasons that were like, good, but not
100%.
great.
Yeah.
But
yeah, and it wasn't perfect.
It hit hard, man. It really did a good job.
So well said. Absolutely.
And oh, by the way, I'm gonna say 8 out of 10 crowbars. That'll be the thing we do for this one.
Okay.
Something that we're at. And then my big takeaway from this too is I love that they built this world of cynicism and just like if it can go bad, it will go bad, and nothing can be innocent, nothing can just be okay. And then the very final note that Kripke left us with was like, actually, it can be. It actually can be. You stick together, you fight through it, you believe in yourself, and you stick to yourself, and you help those around you, and yeah, the good guys can just straight up win. And it's like, wow, I did think that was something that Kripke wanted to tell us.
Yeah.
And if we're looking at all the negatives from the political side of thing, I think that was the positive of the political side of thing. Like what I took away from the political message is like, we could get through this all together if we work together and believe in what we know is right. And that just was like, when I saw Hughie at the end, just kind of like running his dad's shop, I was like, that's just so cool. So
yeah,
I was really happy with that. And then I like how it's like Starlighters like doing the old school superhero thing where like, oh, there's a call at this certain area. Let's go fly over there. So that was really cool.
Yeah.
I was happy with it.
Yeah, I think the ending with Starlight and Hughie was amazing because it was such a nice bookend, right? Like they both step on the curb. What starts the whole thing is him and Robin step on the curb. She gets murked. How it ends is him and Starlight walk on the curb. And now she's going to go be a hero just because she wants to be a hero, not because some organization is telling her to be a hero. And it's, and he's got a future generation on the way that he's like honoring his past, love. I thought it was great. I was like, hell yeah, this is awesome.
By the way, yes, Starlight, not Starlighter, guys. I'm sorry. The amount of times I throw a random S or ER or something,
Well,
and I gotta see it in the comments. Or
I felt like you were like throwing in Lamplighter with Starlight,
Yeah, that's
Remember
right.
Lamplighter?
Yeah.
Who was he played? It was like Iceman from the old X-Men movies.
Yeah, don't tell any of my D&D players that because that's the security, or no, that's the Rebel Force are called Lamplighters, and I didn't realize where I got the name from, and then I realized where I got the name from. I'm like, shit, don't tell them.
Don't listen to this episode, guys.
Yeah, they don't. They'll just complain that they didn't record at the right times.